What we're talking about is the 5-paragraph essay outline, rough draft. And what I want you to consider is, given the advancement in agricultural practices, we have learned to produce more crops, in turn more food. With this comes a trade-off with the environment. Please take a stance for advancing agricultural practices to produce more food, or a stance to protect the environment and limit the advancement to protect the environment. Please use examples in the article to support your stance. Stance means what position do you want to take, all right? So what position do you personally want to take? We are going to write this in a paragraph form, okay? We are going to be arguing for our side. I have given you an outline, okay? And in the intro paragraph, it literally says, attention getter. We're going to do a story, a quote, or a fact, not a question. You guys see where I'm at right here? All right, this is right where I'm at. Background information, 2 to 4 complete sentences describing the topic and getting the time and place correct. We also might have terms that are defined, as well as a thesis statement and roadmap. Basically, we're telling us what the paper is going to be about. Does that make sense? All right. Then we have 3 body paragraphs. We have a topic sentence, we have evidence, and we have an analysis with explanation there. We have 2 paragraphs supporting your personal stance and 1 paragraph supporting the other side. Okay? Does that make sense? Then the conclusion, we're going to restate our main idea and point of the paper with a new insight or a wrinkle. So we're going to talk about it and basically argue our points more. If you look at the second page, I've made it blank. Why do you think I made it blank like that for you, Zumbo? So you can fill it in here. So you can create that outline before we write. Because then once we create that outline, all we have to do is put transitions in. Ethan, can you help me with the hood, please? Thank you. All right. So does that make sense? Now, let's go back to this one here. This intro paragraph, okay, is our introduction. We're trying to gain the reader's attention. The reader in this case would be somebody not in this classroom or not in the 8th grade who has read the article. So we're explaining it to somebody who doesn't know. Does that make sense, Gomo? So that is our audience, okay? So now, going back to the article we read last week, and that article is still posted, okay? Maya, we talked about agriculture. We gave stories. We talked about the Dust Bowl. We talked about all these different things. Could we use any of those examples for our introductory paragraph? Which one would you personally want to use? Huh? That's a great way to think about it. Which stance do you want to be on? So maybe we need to choose what stance we want to be on. The agricultural practices advancing or protecting the environment, right? So which one do you think you personally would want to take? Or are you willing to share that with us? Okay, so you want to advance agriculture. Okay? Now Zumbo, knowing who he is, might want to protect the environment. Right, Zumbo? Okay? There are people who do want to protect the environment in those manners. I know Zumbo's a farmer, that's why I'm picking on him. Okay?
Kaylee Navarre to the office, please. You're getting signed out. Kaylee Navarre to the office, please.
All right. So what I want you guys to do, and I'm going to pause this, and we're going to use some examples here shortly. All right. What I want you guys to do is fill out just the introductory paragraph outline of the second page. Now, that being said, would it make sense to be able to see the other article to reference and pull information out? Probably. If you don't have a Chromebook, that's okay. look on with your neighbor if you need to. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so I'm going to give you guys about 10 minutes to fill in the outline, this section right here of the introductory paragraph. All right, so go ahead and do that. All right, I'm bringing you guys back together. All right, that being said, some of you are still a little bit confused. Well, here's the deal. You had to choose one side or the other. Are you for advancing agricultural practices, or are you for protecting the environment? And then you have to argue your point. All right? So that being said, you have to come up with your opinion. We are working on a rough draft. Okay, Hayden, can I pick on you real quick? Okay. Can you get a rough draft wrong? No. You can have errors in it, but you're not going to have it wrong, right? You have to state your opinion of what side you want to be on. And then gather my attention, all right? Like a wow moment, kind of how JC explained it, right, JC? Of saying something to really draw my eyes to, right? So, that being said, how many of you chose a side to be on? Pro-agricultural advancement or pro-environment? Okay? Those of you who haven't chose a side, you've got to. All right? Then we try to get people's attention. All right? And we use background information to explain our stance or our point of view. We might also have to talk about any technical terms, and then we conclude the sentence basically with our topic. So really what I'm seeing is 4 to 5 sentences in that first paragraph. Does that make sense? Maybe a few more. Does that answer the questions of the people whose hands were up? Yes? Or if you're saying no, ask, because I need to be able to explain it to everyone. So are you good? So what are you still asking? Okay. All right. Here's the thing, guys. This has been tough for me this year. And it was always tough for me in the high school. You guys have got to learn to verbalize your questions. All right? I can't guess. All right? And I'm saying this to everybody because I ran into it this weekend when a kid was talking to me about the test. They never once asked to take the test. Does that make sense? Even though the whole conversation was based on them taking the timeline of the test. Does that make missing the timeline of taking the test? Sorry. All right. You need to say, hey, can I please retake this? Or can I still take this? I can't read minds. If I don't know, it's really hard for me to help you. Does that make sense? And here's the next thing. Okay. You guys are all very, very, very bright. Okay. If you have that question, listen. If you have that question, I guarantee at least 2 other people in here have it. All right? So what I'm saying is, you've got to learn to ask those questions. You've got to learn to advocate for yourself to move forward. Okay? And it's okay. It's all right. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to be right. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay. All right? Now, that being said, do we understand what an attention getter is when writing? Yes. Do we understand what background information is? You don't understand what an attention getter is? No. Okay. An attention getter draws my attention, makes me want to read the article. So it's a statement to garner interest. Does that make sense? All right. If we have terms, we need to make sure those terms are explained that somebody might not understand. And then finally, the thesis, our topic statement for the entire paper is that, the thesis and the roadmap. Does that make sense? Okay. That being said, did that answer your questions? Okay. Did that answer your question? Okay. Does anybody else have a question on how to get this started? All right, this is what I'm expecting. We are going to take a mask and a bathroom break here shortly. Okay? I am expecting this part of the outline to be completed by tomorrow. Okay? Yes, Ethan.
Do you want us to come up with our own title or like a specific title?
Either or. Okay? You can be creative and use your own title, or you can use the specific one given in the article. Does that make sense? It's your paper. If you have these components, can I mark it wrong? I'm looking for quality of writing. I'm not looking for an answer. Does that make sense? Somebody had their hand up over here?
This is like language arts.
Huh?
This is like in language arts.
Yeah. This isn't a language arts assignment. You know, we've done math assignments in here, right? Now we're doing a language arts assignment. We are being able to communicate what we've learned in writing. That's important. That's huge. Does that make sense? All right. I am going to end the recording, all right, and post it. Once it's posted, then we will take our bathroom and mass break. Sound good? All right.